Now, agile agile actually came from where? Perhaps we will just go there. Perhaps it came from first agile manufacturing, and agile manufacturing came from lean. So, so lean happened in Japan. From there, agile, when it came, it actually Americans looked at it. Usually, there is no single person or no some group identified for agile manufacturing. So, and that agile manufacturing examples, what is agile? Agile increased what? Agile increased speed. That is the thing. Agile increased speed. Lean also increased speed and reduced all eliminated waste. So agile looked at speed part of it. And then of course another, what is speed? The speed is meeting the customer needs as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. We have to have both technology and management approaches to meet the customer requirement in the speediest way. Speed. So therefore the technology and automation, if without that some things the speed cannot be increased. But then the management approaches, the management looking at how do I do that? Technology is always there. So that combination took place, gave rise to Americans start to call it, I think, agile. And there are several examples started happening, and that is why they clubbed it as oh, this is little different from, yeah, lean is talking about these two, but we are fine tuning that speed part of it, and they came out with, when Dell computer is an example. Dell computer, individual computers will also be two order computers. So Dell is usually uh, is an example quoted for agile manufacturing. There are others also. So mostly in discrete manufacturing, this agile concept came. Now it was only when this word, when business looked at this manufacturing, agile manufacturing, and lean manufacturing, obviously business also was looking at software, because that by that time all these things, agile manufacturing, other things took place during the 90s and early 2000. So they were also looking at it, and we will right now start this seeing this whatever little slides which we have got. So this there were a group of, if I am not mistaken, there were a group of 17 software engineers. I forget the name. There are, well, I cannot remember the 17 names also, not required. But one of the names is, I think, you may find out, Martin, some Bob Martin or something like that. So they came out with this concept of agile project management for the software industry. Because speed, they love the word speed, and they started looking at, there are three things started happening. Agile, they looked at a Kanban concept of lean, and they looked at they started coming with there is another thing, extreme programming and such things. They started coming out with that. Very specific to, some of them are very specific. What we will right now see are very specific to software project management. So now we move on to that, and in the next 10-15 minutes we will have a quick look at it, and then if you think we can finish up that first day quiz. Okay, now here comes a quick look into agile. Okay. Okay, it's visible. Hopefully, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Introduction to Agile. छोड़ो ये. In early 1990s, software development faced a crisis. Industry experts estimated that the time between a validated business need, and an actual application in production was about 3 years. A validated business need and an actual application in production was about 3 years. Software development. You know how much time a new model of a car, a car company. Of course, now don't now think of Maruti. Maruti remained with Maruti 800 for several decades, and then the next one was, I think, Alto. Now forget Maruti, but look at by the time look at the international other companies. Can you guess how much time they used to take for bringing out a new model? Average time. Quickly, 48 to 60 months. That was reduced. They kept on reducing. And today, even look at Maruti, how every almost every year they are coming out with some models. Though might be some of the models may be tidbit changes, but some of the models have quite good amount of change. And international, when you look at it, well, time to market for any new model is now has been shortened to now they and awesome thinking some people have done, and then they say within, I am forgetting that figure, within 5 days a new car we can produce, totally new car. I mean the engine and everything will be new. We can come out with that. We have the ability now. And they're looking at a customer and saying, you want a new car, you want a new model, we can come out with it within 5 days. Car industry got that awful ability that the software industry was looking at it. So within the space of 3 years, requirements, systems, and even entire business were likely to change. 3 years may. So they said, how do I reduce the time? How do I increase speed? Many projects ended up being cancelled part way through. This was happening. That projects getting cancelled. And many of those that were completed didn't meet all the business current needs. In certain industries, the lag was far greater than 3 years. Now look at it. In aerospace and defense, these are the leaders. Aerospace bole to Boeing, aerospace bole to Airbus, and the Lockheed and the defense, those things. It would be 20 or more years before a complex system went into actual use. The Space Shuttle program, which operationally launched in 1982, used information and processing technologies from the 1960s. These are the things which give a push. Chalo. So now, this is the so-called timeline. I know you may not be able to look at it. You may not be able to see it properly, but very interesting timeline. Very interesting timeline. It is now, see, first was waterfall model. Waterfall model is nothing but you end something, then you take up your waterfall. Water is falling. So that is the waterfall model. It remained there for a long time. Waterfall model. Some Royce associated with Winston Royce. Waterfall model. 1970, imagine, 1970. What a critical, it was a wonderful period, the 70s, decade of 70s. Then came decade of 70s, never forget. We are all, I am a product of decade of 70s. So when I saw those things happening, and I used to read the things happening, adaptive software development took place again during the 70s. Then rapid adaptive development. So only waterfall, that is important. And came then in the 1995 onward, this thing in 1995, this is another thing. Scrum, it is very much limited to software, very much Scrum. So this Scrum, and it is also that this man, Jeff Sutherland, and this, where is the Japanese? There is a Japanese man, Hirotuko Takauchi. Hey, this man. These are the ones. They came out with something known as Scrum. Nothing but it looked at actually a backlog, because no backlog. The whole thing was reducing the backlog. And then later on, it started developing, and in 2019, 2001, 17 people met to talk about Agile. What emerged was the Agile Software Development Manifesto. It is known as the Manifesto, Software Development Manifesto. If you Google it, you will find several interesting ones on Software Development Manifesto. So, and then, okay, evolution of the project management, the traditional and the modern project management, which is currently in Agile. A quick look at a couple of them, and then we will, because elements impacting execution, planning and control. Yes, planning and then control it. These are the so-called elements impacting any traditional project management, even software in the traditional manner, and of course, other ones. What about the modern? Competitive elements impacting execution. If you have planning is wrong, it will impact. If you are not controlling, it will impact. Here, competitive environment, creativity and innovation. Immediately you start realizing, okay, this is for software, creativity and innovation. But, creativity and innovation, wonderful. That is why today we have this innovation standard now. There are many things happening, which is classical things are happening, which will excite anybody, people like all of you. Project success. Success is measured by, where is my cursor? My cursor is it's telling me time. I am also tired. Cursor is also telling. Project success is measured by having well-defined requirement, approved budget, on-time delivery. Where is that? It is saying delivery of business value. This is what it is. It started talking about business value. Not that now traditional world will not talk about business value. Once they have talked about it, these ones are also talking about it. So, business value. What does customer want? Everybody is struggling to understand. I have not shown you that wonderful comic, a wonderful kya bolta hai, that figures, like I sometimes forget. Less important are having well-defined requirements. Less important are having well-defined requirements. This is less important. So business value, looking at business value. Okay. Requires a project manager. Project manager's role is distributed. Product owner, Scrum Master, and new words. But okay, Scrum Master is actually, he ensures that the projects are on time and all those things of a project manager. I cannot read it and I cannot remember also the last one. Okay, doesn't matter. A quick look at it and then okay, and we will not spend much of time again now, because Agile is a time-boxed, iterative approach to software delivery. that builds software incrementally from the start of the project instead of trying to deliver it all at once near the end. Difference is there. All at once near the end, and against it, iterative process that builds software incrementally from the start of the project. How it works? It works by breaking projects down into little bits of user functionality known as user stories. Lots of these words, no? User stories, prioritizing them, and then continuously developing them in a short 2-week cycle called iteration. In a short 2-week cycle, it's time limited. These are the clue to all these new tools. Scrum is also and Kanban, which was there, which evolved industrial engineers, they evolved it. It's excellent tool, Kanban. Is also a tool used to organize work for the sake of efficiency, where Scrum limits the amount of time Scrum limits the amount of time allowed to accomplish a particular amount of work by means of, these are the words, sprints. Kanban limits the amount of work allowed in any condition, in any one condition. Only so many tasks can be ongoing, only so many can be on the to-do list. To-do, in progress, and then done. So this is the so-called, you must have seen, I have seen in software companies, these visual tools. So Scrum is a tool used to organize work. Scrum is a tool used to organize work into small, manageable pieces that can be completed by a cross-functional team within a prescribed time period called sprint, and generally 2 to 4 weeks long, to plan, organize, administer, and optimize the process. This is Scrum. Special trainings are given. Americans are there now, so they've discovered that this is something. They can also. This is a business area. Though, except even in the software industries in India, Scrum they use, but not. I haven't seen much of people talking about it. It came, but it didn't make that impact. Well, there is another term. Extreme programming is an agile software development framework that aims to produce high-quality software which focuses on customer satisfaction by delivering what is the same, what is needed, when needed. Its guiding principle are communication. The guiding principle are all very communication, simplicity, feedback. You do recall some time back you were all saying all these things: communication, simple, feedback, respect, and courage. All these quite big sounding words. Okay, we will not difference even in Scrum. Agile Manifesto is consists of all these work, the different items, and then the 4 values of the manifestos are individual and interaction over process and tools are like that. These are all okay. Then modern agile guiding principles are there. Okay, chalo. These are all these are all prompts. How do I do that? These are all things which questions come. How to estimate project cost in Agile? How to estimate project schedule in Agile? So these are all terms related to this subject. It's a subject of its own. DevOps. Now, Agile works very well in projects where unknown is there. So what is okay? We will now no more. Leans on this thing.
Sir, SAP also came now, sir, like this. SAP.
Uh-uh.
SAP.
SAP is a SAP is a type of a enterprise resource planning, but not like this. Not this. That is a planning tool. Planning tool. Now SAP, the latest versions. क्या बोलते हैं, what it is known as? I am forgetting. But these are specific tools for project management. This SAP is universally applicable to a chota MSME company, manufacturing company. Those are all enterprise resource planning. SAP is a German company. SAP, there was another company, BAN, that can really come into India. So those are different. But whereas this Agile is an a is a evolution of Lean in specific to software. When Lean, when Agile became, when from Agile came Lean manufacturing, the concept was borrowed from manufacturing, and then Agile came because quite a latest in such term, when just 20 years back, 2024, 1997 or something like that, they came out with Agile software manifesto. And from there, all these things evolve. If you go a little deeper into all these things, you will find they are actually borrowed everything from a lean. So there is a, a quite a classical book, Lean IT. If you read that, you will start realizing a very classical book, Lean IT. Then you start realizing this subject, what is Lean Agile software is all about. Okay, I think I should stop now, and let us very quickly finish that one at least, the one which we are pending, and then call it a day. That's how we should go. And just give me some little more time to bring that. I wanted to finish by 5 o'clock, but not happening. Give me a little more time.